This video is presented by Western and Southern Financial Group, a game plan for your financial future. Every great team starts with a strong foundation, and your future should too. With life insurance built like a championship roster, Western and Southern helps protect what matters most, so you can focus on winning today while planning for tomorrow. Whether you're just starting your journey, building your dynasty, or ready to retire like a champion, Western and Southern has the right play for your life stage. Visit westernsouthern.com to get your free life insurance quote today. Western and Southern, built to win. Welcome into the PFF College Football Show. Max Chadwick alongside Dalton Wasserman here. Don't have a full preview show for you guys. It's only a couple bowl games this weekend, but of course, we had to preview one of the best rivalries in the sport, Army against Navy. This game we played on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS in Baltimore. Kind of go over the history of this great rivalry. Navy leads the series all time 63-55, and also 7 ties in that series too. Navy won last year's game 31-13. Army, though, has won 6 of the last 9 games in this series history, and Navy, if they win this game, they'll clinch a 10-win season in back-to-back years. It'll be the first time in program history that the midshipmen win 10 games in back-to-back years. And Dalton, it's always one of the coolest games of the year that we get in college football, and I'm excited to kind of break it all down today.
It's one of those rivalries where the records don't matter, the stats don't matter. They just get out on the football field, and they know each other so well. They know what the other is trying to accomplish at any given moment, and you just get a hard-fought battle every single time. It was why it was odd to see last year's game was a bit lopsided, because we usually don't get that. Usually these games come down to one score, and I think, look, both of these teams, you're getting them, obviously Navy 9-2, and they're getting an interesting bowl game after this against Cincinnati. Army's got theirs against UConn. After this, I think what you've got with Army is a team that's playing its best football down the stretch. They've won 5 of their last 7, so I expect a really competitive game between these two, as we usually get.
Yeah, Army 6-5 on the year. Navy is 9-2 on the year as well. Before we break down these offenses and defenses using PFF stats, I want to remind you guys, PFF stats are 30% off right now, and use the promo code HOLIDAY30. You can also get access to the mock draft simulator that we got, the best fantasy football tools, the best betting tools, and of course stats and grades on every single player and team in college football and the NFL. So speaking of that, Dalton, let's break down these offenses and defenses right now. You have the Navy offense against the Army defense. What should we know when the midshipmen have the ball in this game?
So I think when you look at Navy, it's really a lot of the same cast of characters offensively, especially all the core components that are back from this same game last year when they dominated Blake Horvath at quarterback, and then in the backfield, Alex Texa, Brandon Chapman, Eli Heidenreich, and there's a lot of weapons and a lot of diversity in this Navy offense. But a big thing last year, I thought when you go back and watch that game, Army on defense did a really good job of shutting down a lot of those complicated concepts, especially to the outside, trying to keep contained and make Navy beat them between the tackles. The big problem is that Blake Horvath was just too good to stop in that game. Put it this way, Navy had 287 rushing yards in that game. 29 of them actually came on a fake punt. So let's go 258 rushing yards on offense. Horvath had 206 of them. Plus he threw 2 touchdowns. It's really about him. I want to see if there's kind of a philosophical shift in how Army is going to handle this Navy offense. Now, do they put more of the focus on Horvath and go, you know what, Alex Texa back there at fullback, go ahead and run it between the tackles for 4 yards? Are they going to make Horvath beat them throwing down the field? But Eli Heidenreich, the wingback, is a really good receiving threat, a 93.8 receiving grade this season. I believe that's his 3rd year in a row over a 90. He's been such an efficient weapon for him in the passing game. So there is a lot of diversity. I'm curious to see how Army is going to handle that part again on defense, but the focus has to be to contain Horvath, especially on the ground. You cannot let him go for over 200 yards rushing again in this game.
Yeah, definitely. I have the Army offense, and of course, like Navy, it's all about the run game too, because Army leads the nation with over an 81% run rate this year. They're 5th in the country in run blocking grade. Their left guard, Will Jeffcoat, is the highest graded offensive guard that we have in college football right now with an 88.7 PFF grade, basically all because of how dominant he is as a run blocker. This is a very gap-heavy run scheme that Army has. They like to get really downhill on teams. They only run zone runs 27% of the time. Their quarterback Kale Helms is 4th among all quarterbacks this year with over 1,000 rushing yards and also 3rd in the country with 15 rushing touchdowns. Even more impressive, those stats, he entered the year as the backup quarterback for Army and has only had 8 starts this year because Dwayne Coleman, their original starter, has battled injuries all year. And also Army has a very deep backfield too. They have 3 different running backs with over 250 rushing yards in Noah Short, Hayden Reed, and Briggs Bartosh. Navy's defense has had some issues in run defense this year. Right now they're 114th in run defense grade, and they also have the 5th worst tackling grade in college football right now. Navy has been pretty average against gap schemes this year, placing 66th in the country in yards per attempt allowed. I will say that last year in the game against Army, Navy only allowed 2.9 yards per carry in that game, and that was when Army had a star quarterback in Bryson Daly in that one too. So Army definitely has to be a lot better on the ground this year if they want to beat Navy this time around.
For sure. A couple of key things there. Helms, their offense has looked a lot better with him down the second half of this season. He's won 4 of his last 6 starts. He actually led the upset victory, remember, early in the year over Kansas State, at Kansas State. And another key stat, I think, for Army, and it keeps their defense off the field because both of these defenses are in the bottom 20 of defensive grading. So this could be maybe a higher scoring game than we usually get. But Army leads the nation, as you mentioned, in run rate, but they also lead the nation in average time of possession per game. They hold the ball for over 35 minutes per game. That's a big thing. They're not the most explosive offense. Navy's the more explosive offense in this game, but Army understands how to just keep moving the chains and kill the clock 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes at a time. So that's going to be a key component. If Army can slow the game down, then I think that works to their advantage. If it starts to speed up and gets to be more about the quarterbacks and the explosiveness and the passing ability, then that leans in Navy's advantage.
So will Navy win for the 2nd year in a row and clinch their first ever back-to-back 10-win season in program history, or will Army get revenge on the midshipmen this year?
Like I said at the top, I think this is going to be a really good football game because both teams are playing their best football right now. You look at after Navy suffered their 2 losses to 2 really good teams, obviously, in North Texas and Notre Dame, finished their seasons against USF and Memphis, 2 big-time wins, and Army's won 5 of their last 7 games. So I think you're going to get a great game, but at the end of the day, I think Navy's experience with all the core components playing in this game last season and having a veteran group out there, I think Blake Horvath could once again be the best player on the field, and his difference actually in the passing game, the difference he makes in the passing game with his arm, I think could be a huge difference in this game. Got it close. Both defenses struggling a little bit. Give me Navy 27-24.
I should have mentioned the top 2. This is actually for the Commander-in-Chief trophy, too, because both Army and Navy beat Air Force this year. So whoever wins this game wins the Commander-in-Chief trophy. I also have Navy winning this game 31-24. It could be a more high-scoring game than usual because both offenses right now are in the top 35 of the country in offensive grade. And like Dalton mentioned, both defenses are outside the top 115 in the country right now. I do think Navy will find enough balance on offense with a better passing game than usual. Army doesn't really have much of a passing game at all right now. They'll have enough balance to find a way to win this game in the end and beat Army for the 2nd straight year. Want to remind you guys, we're of course going to do our previews for all of the college football playoff games starting next Tuesday with our full first round preview show. Tune in live here on this channel Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time so you don't miss that. For Dalton Wasserman, I'm Max Chadwick. We'll see you guys next time.